Welcome to 1000 PS, welcome to the launch of the new Manx Norton. Yeah, you heard that right, Norton are back. And the guys at 1000 PS thought they would get an unbiased opinion from a guy who has raced Manx Nortons, who's English and knows that this bike is made in Birmingham. But let's put that to one side for a little bit. How do we assess this bike? Should we assess it on looks? In terms of looks and appeal, I think it's absolutely stunning. I think it's going to really split opinion when we get the comments going below, because some people want massive aero wings, some people want underseat exhaust, some people want the bike to look aggressive like the M1000 RR from BMW or the Ducati Panigale, but this is sleek, this is sophisticated, this is a little bit different. Like, can you spot any of the fairing fasteners? This is completely one piece. And because this is the signature, this is all carbon bodywork, which puts the price up to 38,990 something. Let's call it 40 grand between friends. Carbon wheels as obvious. But for me, the bike that makes the most sense is the Apex version. So that gets the forged wheels, the electronic Marzocchi suspension, and the same bodywork, just not carbon fibre, and the forged wheels. And if you go for the base model with the cast wheels and the manual suspension, it's only 20 grand. When I say only 20 grand, that is still a lot of money. If I found that underneath the sofa, I'd be a happy Sunday. But I actually thought this bike at base price was going to be a lot more. We've got some real quality components. We've got the high pure brakes, we've got the electronic Marzocchi suspension, we've got a huge TFT dash, we've got this beautiful switchgear that is so iconic and so matching of this kind of Norton look and Norton stance. I love this backlight, it's kind of retro, kind of 80s styling. I love the fact it's a V4, I love the fact that the exhaust has been hidden away. I love the fact that they've gone, bugger it, we're going to have a single-sided swinging arm. Everybody else has gone double-sided swinging arm because they're lighter and it changes the stiffness and it's all ready for World Superbike racing. But Norton have gone, well, we're not going to go racing. So we can do what we want, which is why the engine is a 72-degree V4. They've lifted it up a little bit. They've hidden the exhaust underneath. A lot of that is for styling. They've kept the single-sided swinging arm, again for styling. The chassis has more flex and more feel, again, because they're not going racing. So we don't need a rigid chassis. This is very much a road bike. In terms of facts and figures, we're at 206 horsepower at 11,500 RPM, 96 foot-pounds torque at 9,000 RPM, which is a little bit lower than competition. But the big interesting figure is that peak power and peak torque is quite low in the RPM compared to other 1000cc bikes and other V4s. And 96 foot-pounds of torque is way more than the competition. Now the reason for that is that Norton went, we're producing a road bike. We're not producing a 1000cc bike that we're going to take the headlights off, the mirrors off, spend years developing and go racing. We're going to produce a road bike for road riders who occasionally ride on track. In terms of electronics, we've got a suite of rider aids, we've got launch control, traction control, slide control, cornering ABS, all connected to an IMU. But what's also interesting is we've actually got potentiometers in the suspension, which basically measure what the actual suspension is doing, which is the only sports bike that has that. The dash is really clear, it's simple, it's easy to use, and it's touchscreen at a standstill, which is really, really nice. The looks and style and appeal are lovely. But you can have the looks, you can have the torque, you can have a lovely touchscreen dash, you can have everything, you can have that historic and famous Norton brand, but it's got to work. And work it does. But you have to kind of almost change the way that you want to ride and how you want to ride. If you want a screaming inline 4 or you want a screaming V4, then look elsewhere. This is all about fat torque. This is about carrying corner speed. This is about using mid-range, which it does exceptionally well. On the road, I just found myself letting go of the brakes, using the torque, using the gear higher than I normally would, and really enjoying it. On the road, there's a few little niggles. The mirrors give you a really attractive look of your elbows. The fueling in the racer modes and sport and the track setting is a little bit snatchy. The traction control is a little bit intrusive in places when it gets bumpy, but It's designed to be a safe road bike for people who ride on the road, not for people who are screaming it up and down mountain passes like we did a little bit earlier on. And then when we come to the track, even though Norton say it's not being designed for the track, it worked on track. Worked really well. The front end is really good. The brakes are really strong, these high pure brakes. It stops incredibly well. The ABS is not too intrusive. The traction control and the slide control are kind of like a big safety net. They kind of kick in a little bit early for more experienced riders. 206 horsepower is not slow. It's still fast. It still gives you a buzz. If you really want to push, like I did in one of the sessions, then I had to turn the rider aids off, because the difference between having rider aids on minimum and having the rider aids off is quite substantial, because it's a road bike made for road riders, not for pushing for lap times. So the rider aids are a little bit restricted, and I had to remove the wheelie control and the traction control to start pushing for a decent lap time. And it will push for a decent lap time. Especially with the rider aids off, it darts a little bit more between corners. If we were going to put a stopwatch on this test, if we were going to compare it to other bikes, it's definitely going to be down. It's not going to be as quick as, say, an Aprilia or a Panigale or an M or a Fireblade. I don't think it's got that outright speed. It's a little bit slower, but easy and predictable to steer. It's a little bit heavier, and it's not got that scream at the top end when it comes to the track. But even though I'm here with Norton, all the engineers kind of almost agree, because, well, it wasn't designed to do that, Chad. It was designed to be a usable, attractive, desirable road bike. And yeah, the mirrors, yeah, a little bit of fueling and a few little niggles here and there, but it kind of does that. It'd be interesting to get all the comments, and we'll have a little chat below, as we always do here at 1000 PS, because I think some people are going to absolutely hate it and go, it's a sports bike, it's got no aero wings, it's not as fast as my bike, why would I buy it? And then I think there's other people who are going to go, well, I never go on track. I ride my road bike on the road. I want a sports bike for the road. And I'll open the garage door and go, wow. And I think it does that. The proof in the pudding will be when we get a group test. At 1000 PS, we'll definitely do that. I want to see what it's like on a longer road. I want to see what it's like on a longer journey. Is that 14.5 fuel litre tank a little bit too small? How frugal is it going to be? Is it going to be too thirsty? What's it going to be like over longer distances? And what's it going to be like against the competition when it comes to a stopwatch? Is it going to be 1 second, 2 seconds, or 3 seconds slower? Proof is in the pudding when we get a big group test together, which I can't wait. But for Norton's first kind of sports bike since the 90s, exceptional. I really, really want one in my garage.